What's up, guys? Welcome back to yet another video. This video is kind of on a request, you could say. I posted a picture of a fly last week, I think, of a flatwing, a cheaper version using these, let me get one here, these Ostrich hurls. Really cool, underrated material. Fairly strong as well, so definitely worth a go if you haven't got the bag for the super expensive dry fly hackles, aka flatwings. There's not much to this one actually. I'll try to walk you guys through the steps as good as possible to get the right taper for this one. I got some DMs regarding this fly, and it seemed some of you guys were struggling to build up the right taper of the fly, so I'll try to walk you through that. Let's jump down to the vise here and crank out this ostrich baitfish kind of thing, whatever. So the hook in the vise here, and I know you are envying this pajama right here. You'll just have to go out and get your own. So now that's out of the way. Okay, so the hook in the vise is, as usual, from Eric's Hooks. It is the SA 280, the minnow. And I want to start off with a small piece of bucktail. Now I have already all the materials laid out here for the length of this video, or for the sake of the length of this video. If I had to cut everything out, it would be a really long one, so I've already done that. Put on the bucktail here on the top of the hook. Trim off what you don't need. Now I like to trim off the material in the same length as the hook shank, leaving a little bit of space up by the eye here to finish my fly, and by doing that I ensure an even underbody, you can say, of the fly. So the bucktail will serve as like a pillow, you could say, for this ostrich shell to lay on top of. So what that will do essentially is provide support for these very soft feathers and stop it from tangling up around the hook band here, which is nice. So take a few strands of ostrich shell. I have exactly 3, 6, 7 pieces here. Just take whatever you feel is the right amount. There are no rules here, really. So get those on, tie those down, cut this off. Then I want to grab some STF dubbing in white. You can of course really mix and match the colors here. Like I said, there are no rules. So take out a good amount of dubbing and align it like this by pulling it, placing it back on top, and that will align the fibers roughly. I think I need a little bit more. So just work a little bit with it, like this, and then I want to place it like this on the hook, make 2 loose wraps, and then just tighten that down. Go forward a little bit, and then double this back over on itself and tie on top of that. Just a few wraps, that'll do. So as you can see here, you're left with the ostrich herls will be embedded in the dubbing here. And take some more. Let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. I know some of you guys are going to ask anyways, how many did you put in? Those I want tiny bit longer than the previous ones. Tell those in, top of the hook as well. Kind of squeeze them out a little bit on the sides, not all the way around, just on top. Secure those. Okay. Same thing again with the dubbing, just a little bit more this time. And the idea here is to, if you want to build up that taper the right way, you want to start off with a small amount and then gradually take a little bit more as you move up the hook shank. So same thing, a few loose wraps, and turn this back over on itself. Get some turns on top of that. There we go. And I actually think I started a little bit too far back on the hook on this one. I still have a lot of room to tie on here, but we'll work our way around that. Let's get some flash into this fly. And I'm really digging these lateral scales at the moment. I don't know if you can see that here, but they have they kind of have some crinkle worked into them, so they will reflect the light a lot better. And as always, I like to put 2 on each side of the fly. You don't want to overdo it, especially not with the sea trout flies. They kind of get scared if the fly is too flashy. So just a little bit to get their attention. Same thing on the other side. And then just trim these a little bit different lengths. Like that. Not much longer than the white feathers here. Okay, so let me see if I can work around that little mistake I made there. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to start that far back on the hook, especially if you're tying on a hook with a longer shank. You could get away with probably starting a fly in the middle of the hook, really. So get that on. 2 loose turns. Like that. Some wraps in. Flip this over on itself. A few turns on top of that. And let's get some olive feathers in here, and for the last bundle you can really take a decent amount. What do I have here? 2, 4, 6, 10 pieces, okay? And these I want to be a tiny bit longer than the white ones. And then just flare those out a little bit over the top of the fly here. You don't want it to go too far down on the sides, so just get a few loose wraps in on the feathers here before you tighten that down. There we go. I can really see what I meant here with going a bit too far back on the hook before I started tying. Let's get a whip finish in on this one. One will do. Cut off the thread. So let's get out some UV resin. And you know the trick here. I like to put a little bit on my fingers. Of course, if you don't want to put it on your fingers, use your needle and work it in that way. Like that. I just saw the fibers weren't evenly distributed on the belly here, so I'll just do that. Got all the time in the world when you're working with UV resin. Unless you're sitting outside, but who does that? So have a look at this. You can really predetermine the shape of the fly here when you do it this way. So what's going on with this one feather here? That is looking better. That's looking good to me. Let's get on some ice. Like always, I have my ice here, but the 3D printed ice I like to put on my hands so I know where they are and they don't fall down into my basket or on the floor or whatever. So drop on the side of the fly here. And these are, where did I put the package? Down here somewhere. These are some 3D printed ones from BAITFISH. I'm really loving this product. stick on an eye. And these are really great because they are so flat. You might know the struggle when you kind of want to build a slim profile or a slim head on a fly. And if you use 3D printed eye or 3D eyes with epoxy already applied to them, the head can get really, really thick. So these 3D printed, but not, they're not covered in resin, so they're just really, really flat like this. Get an eye on that side. Look, it's roughly on the right spot. Just cure that resin. Flip the fly over, and then I want to force these fibers here on the belly to lie a bit more flat, and the way I do that is just to put on some resin here and kind of pull the fibers up like this, and then just hit it with my lamp. So not only did I tie every bunch of feathers in here a little bit longer every time, I also used the resin to manipulate the shape, and that will of course help the overall look and taper of the fly. Actually, I think I want a little bit of orange on the belly here. Just clean this up a little bit, like that. So, I kind of want to add a little bit of orange underneath the head of the fly here. Now, if this does any difference to the way this fly fishes, I don't know. I just, I like the look of it, and in my head, this tells me that any fish will see this from a bit further away, and if it can spot it from a bit further away, chances are it will come and investigate, at least in theory. So I am a big fan of fluorescent materials, not too much, but just a little bit to spice things up for me and for the fish. So you can see it there, nice little orange belly. Now all that's left to do is just to make a nice resin head. Like always, the trick here is just to not to put on too much, and just keep the fly moving as you work your way around. Make sure I cover the eyes like that. The nose got a little bit long on this one, but it will fish just fine. I might be able to fix that a little bit more. Secure that one layer here. Like that. Also, don't be scared to glue the fly all the way back to the bend of the hook here. That will also help it from tangling. I can almost guarantee you that this fly won't tangle up on you if you glue it all the way back to the bend. So let me just, for the sake of my perfectionism, cover up this head one more time, make it look even prettier. Nice and round head here. That turned out really well. So just keep that moving fairly fast. If you have a vise that can rotate like this, it of course helps. Otherwise, you would have to, I guess you would have to build this up in more like not two stages like I did here, more like 3 or 4. And you can get away with a clean finish. And of course, for every layer you have to shine on it with your lamp a little bit longer, just to make sure that it's cured all the way through. I think mine is, no, yeah. So there you have one finished flatwing baitfish, a fairly big one. But if you see some of the spin fishes on the coast, they fish lures even bigger than this. And they do sometimes, the bastards, catch bigger fish than me. But here we have it, one finished, the Ostrich, I believe I called it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that little thumbs up button down there because it really helps. And maybe even hit the bell so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.